Hey everybody, Shay here. Welcome back to another chapter delve of My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. We're going to be working on chapter 16 today, Know Your Enemies, which is of course going to get into the combat between the students and the villains that have appeared on the campus. But before I get started, I want to talk about something that happened in chapter 13 with the introduction of the character 13, the hero 13. I skipped this entire page. I had to read this after chapter 15, after I did the last chapter. It came up in the comments and I realized I was missing some information. 13 was more mysterious than they should have been to me. Turns out I missed this page because I started talking about page flips or something like that. I got distracted and I started looking backwards. And then when I came back to this point, I was looking at maybe at this corner of the page. Maybe it's like the whole, right to left thing and I got switched. But anyways, maybe my finger was here and I was doing one of these things. And so when I flipped back, I saw the head in this corner, head in that corner, right? And so I felt like I was starting here. And so I skipped that page. The information that appears in this page is, of course, two relevant pieces now based on the last two episodes. The first one being, of course, the introduction of 13, because I thought that I got confused when they mentioned 13 and talking about 13 and all this stuff. And then the second piece was the unforeseen simulation joint, the USJ, which is the locations that the students have been teleported to and dropped in. I think of it as the danger room, but it's not mind game. It's not simulations, like fake simulations. It's real life terrains that have been set up as basically part of these camp. Oh my God, this image right here. Different zones inside the campus. So, okay. So that's like the water zone with the boat. The city zone is probably in here. Okay, so it really is USJ. It's the Space Hero 13. Now, part of me feels like I read this because as I reread this, I was like, I kind of have a memory of having read this, but I didn't. I think I stopped here. And I didn't get to this part, which is that talks about 13. Where's All Might? I thought he was meeting here. And that's Asawa looking for All Might. About that senpai. It seems he just about reached his limit during the morning commute. So 13 is aware that the limit was reached and they had to take a break. So it's kind of like letting you in on these people know. This particular inside circle knows that that was a limitation. A little bit gray panel right here. And that's kind of the kind of important one is that it's All Might in the weaker form here. So he's resting in the break room. Apologies. I'll try to show my face near the end of the exercise. I'm truly sorry about this. So it's All Might. I missed that detail. It's vital because I was carrying that through the next two chapters, trying to find out when were they going to bring that up because I was starting to think that it was suspicious. Anyways, the height of irrationality. Well, we should be on guard just in case. So be it. Let's get started. And then they go off and do and that's the page I thought we started at. It's relevant to this chapter because we're going to be doing this Know Your Enemies chapter, and we're going to be hopefully, I didn't flip past this point, getting into the other characters dealing with the villains, and what I'm going to be looking for is the continuation of that through line, which is only touched upon in these chapters, like at the start, for example. It's just reminding you that it's there. It's doing that sequential storytelling that happens in Western comics, but of course these ones, because it's a weekly, this is going to be, I think, going to be a reoccurring thing now, where there's going to be 2 or 3 pages inside every chapter where it's just going to be like, here's some seeds. And then we're going to come back next week, right? Here's some more seeds. Now it's kind of sprouting. And now it's kind of, you can see it's like the plant is blooming and then it's going to reveal. So it could take, I'm not even going to say chapters. It could take volumes to resolve some of these things because they're going to lean into like, we're just going to seed some stuff and then we're going to grow it slowly over time. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to jump into chapter 16 and immediately the first bubble, of course, I took a really clean dump this morning. So they should be stuck together all day. Thank you, Mineta. Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty much a summary of how the previous chapter ended. So what do we do now? And then let's follow the shoreline. Let's get to the exit. Now, because the image I just showed from that one panel, these places are not that far apart. This image here, though, made it feel like it was an entirely, like they were so far away. But no, this is still on campus. This is reasonable. It's not like the teleport happened and it took them to different parts of the earth. No, it's on campus. There's likely just a couple minutes between travel. If someone's got travel powers, like someone like Aida, then he's going to get to where he needs to get to very fast, Our first battle ended with our first win, but I made a deadly wrong assumption. What was that assumption? And flip. Oh, we're still in the scene. Ooh, look! That's an awesome page, man. It's like, wow. You'd think I would have checked this. No, I'm not flipping. When I say I'm not flipping past the first page, I mean it. First impressions here. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, right. Looks like Aizawa sensei is drawing a large number of them to the plaza. Who's saying that? Oh, it's the bubble is... Okay, sorry. That bubble is Tsuyu's because it's going into this panel, but it's the bubble shape. Just enough irregularity on the line there. Okay, so right looks like okay, bringing the plaza. Of course, he's more than holding his own out there, but it's too much for him. He knew that, but he jumped in to protect us. Hey, don't tell me that you're... I'm not saying we should dive right into the fight, thinking that we stood a chance against these enemies. Okay, we're doing a lot of like... It's very disruptive way to tell stories. I know what it's doing at this point, but it doesn't flow. It doesn't flow right because you're switching perspectives of characters. The characters are talking in different panels, and so you have to keep that in track. And then it's continuing stuff from the previous page, from previous panels, a running thought that goes between these panels across the like it's very disruptive. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, what is this? Thinking that we stood a chance against these enemies. Okay, wait, let me context again. Then our first battle ended with this first win, but I made a deadly wrong assumption, thinking that we stood a chance against these enemies. See, it flows well when I read it all together in sequence, but I have all of these interruptions, plus the one that I just disrupted me here. It's only the second page, but it's worth it's criticizing. I'm not saying that in a negative way, although it is, but it's like it's a criticism, like of the way this stuff is written. I think it's smart overall. It's very good. The flows are good, but it's very disruptive, is what I'm saying, and it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable, maybe from my own sensibilities coming into this. I'm now 16 chapters in, or I'm going into the 16th chapter, but it's still very disorienting to me because I get to this point finally realizing that, oh wait, that's Tsuyu. You're talking about not Midoriya, because I was already speaking like it was Midoriya, and maybe it's because I'm speaking out loud sometimes and I keep some of those clips in, but when I'm saying this stuff, because I'm seeing Midoriya here next, right? I'm going from Tsuyu to Midoriya. This bubble is going here, so it's maybe her. But I'm at Midoriya, so I'm taking Midoriya into this, and now I'm thinking it's Midoriya speaking, but it's not a... I'm thinking it's a flashback because I'm kind of remembering it as a flashback. There are too many of them. There's like these signals going off, even though days have passed. And I'm like, wait, no, that's Tsuyu. Let's read that together. And then it's... Jesus. Anyways, I think I've talked about that enough. Just that we watch for an opening and do what we can to lighten Sensei's load was a grave miscalculation. But that's the continuation of that without the box. I'm going to move on. Okay, we have USJ, bird's eye view. Okay, so we have the central plaza versus. So there's combats happening in all of these zones. So we have down here, we have on this mountain thing with the bridge, we have Yaoyorutsu. Oh, sexy girl. Is that her? I guess that's her name. We have Jiro. We have Kaminen. The text is very small. I can barely read it. And not shown yet. Oh, okay. These two were together. She was pulling something out of her limbs or something. I didn't see this dude in the scene yet. And even tells us not shown yet. Oh, Invisible Girl is here with, I think that's Laser Navel. Oh, his name is Belly Button. I guess maybe that's his name. It's in brackets right there. In brackets, the Invisible Girl, it just says invisible. It says where? Oh, where are they? Oh, good point. I mean, they did have Todoroki here soloing. Curious? Suspicious as fuck. Okay, we have Ojiro. It even says guy who got frozen. Guy who got frozen. In the test? Try your hand at one of our many disasters. Ding, dong, 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 dong. We have Midoriya, Mineta, and Esui. Of course, in the flood zone. Can you tackle them all in a single day? We have this crow dude, Tokoyami, Koda. I'm probably saying these wrong because the text is very small. Not shown yet. So they're in the Winstrol dumpster zone? Downpour zone. I can't. The text is so... Okay, moving on. We have Asawa here in the courtyard, holding off the crowd. Then we have are these in the school? About 3 kilometers to the school that way. We have the Hero 13, Ida, Shaji. Who's Shaji? Oh, Octopus. Nice. We have Soto, Siro, and Ashido, Bakugo, and Kuroshima. Not yet shown. Oh, he wasn't shown. But no, he was shown. He was shown. He was in the shot. Anyways, so just a guide, just in case you're lost. And I guess this would have been 2 weeks after having seen them in those panels. Wow, that went long. Let's move on. Okay, so we're going to flip now. Divide and conquer, huh? Forgive me for saying so, but they're all frozen. They're all done for. That's it. They're done for. It's hard to see you guys as any more than thugs with quirks you can't even handle. Bastard, the second he was warped here. Is it really just a kid? Ow. What is this? We've brought along so many playmates. Is he one of the frozen dudes? No, I don't know. I don't think so. They want to kill All Might. At first, it seemed like they were elite. They'd use their numbers to overwhelm him, but taking a closer look, the pawns are just here for us. Nothing but a gang of low-level cannon fodder. As far as I can tell, there are only about 4 or 5 really dangerous individuals here. He's saying this? Is he talking to someone? At this rate, your skin will rot away from frostbite. That's nasty. But I'm trying to become a hero, and heroes don't do such horrible things. What makes you think you can kill All Might? Tell me the plan. Look at him. Switch to the mountain zone. Oh, I like this. I like that it's flipping. I was looking forward to this. Wah! Who is this? Who is this? What's going on here? Naval laser? Who is it? Yikes. My whole life. It's just flashed before my eyes. Who the hell are these guys? What are they doing here? Okay, so it's the 3 of them. Okay, so this is it. This is where the breaking point might happen. Cayman. The text is small. Maybe he'll get one of those introductions and I'll know what the hell's going on. What the hell's going on here? Page flip. Worry about that later. We need to figure out how to get away from this mob. Now, I don't think that... Oh, that's not naval laser. That looks like electricity or lightning right here. Oh, he's got lightning bolts on the... I don't think I've seen this dude yet. Hey, you're a lightning guy, right? Well, why don't I keep reading? Just fry him to a crisp, would you? Weren't you paying attention during battle training? We were partners. Oh, okay. I can only cover myself in electricity. Sure, I can discharge it, but I can't control it. Well, that's an interesting limitation. I'd hit you guys too. It's like with Todoroki's power. Todoroki's power. Todoroki's power. I'm trying to call for help, but my special transceiver... There's a transceiver. My special transceiver is being jammed. Yeah, but that's like that other thing that's being jammed. The signal, the thingamajig, the alarm, the school thing. Get it? You can rely on me here. I'm relying on you. You sure blab a lot for a guy. Fine. Be a human stun gun. Kick. Seriously? It worked. I'm pretty strong. Well, he could just run into things. He doesn't need to be kicked or thrown into them. Just rely on me, guys. Hey. Well, that was easy. Yeah, but what if you electrocuted them and they had a heart attack and then you wouldn't be a hero anymore because you would have killed someone? Stop messing around, you punk. Now, what's her power? She can kick. She's got a knife in her hand, but I know that she pulled that out of that other... Okay. Wait. And then it just shatters on his... Dude, that would have killed the dude. No? Annette, get serious, you two. Pop. What'd you pop? Is that a cord? A cord popped out of what? Oh my god, I don't have no... I can barely follow along. I'm barely holding on. I think that it was her. That's her ankle. Yes, that's her ankle. What popped? Something popped out of her boot. I actually had a pretty good plan in mind, but Kaminari is his name. Kyoko. They're going to give us maybe 3 more here. Here we go. Kyoko Jiro. Quirk. Oh, earphone jack. Oh, it came from... What the fuck? Oh, it came from her... What? It came from her ears. She can use her plugs to amplify her own heartbeat to deafening explosive levels. She can also detect even the faintest of sounds. Super hearing, and she can push the heartbeat out to deafening explosive levels. That's crazy friggin' creativity here, man. Get my ears. Okay, so it's like Soundwave. So she's got sonic attacks. Super hearing and sonic attacks. Very, very interesting way to do that combination. In my costume request, I asked for a way to focus my sound in one direction. Plugged into her legs, maybe? That popped into the leg. And then she can boom. And these are like speakers, maybe. So when she stomps, it does like a sonic, a concussive like blast. It took some time. Bulge, bulge, bulge. What's bulging? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, brain. Brain malfunctioning. That's how it is with larger objects. What did you do? What did you do? Who? That's you. She's kicking someone. It's ready. And then you slashed him apart? I don't know. Next group. Next group, please. A sheet. Trying to shield yourselves. A 100 millimeter thick insulation sheet. Now, Kaminari. Gotcha. Oh, sheet. She can teleport in shit. Is that what's going on? Foomp. It's ready. Oh, bulge. Oh, what the... What? I think it came out of her back. Is that her hair? What is that coming out of? I think her back. I think a sheet comes out of her back, falls on top of them. Now, Kaminari. Gotcha. You see, I'm actually super strong. That looks like it fried the... Oh my god, I thought it turned them into ash. No, that's the sheet that protected them. Because he could unleash it, but he would nail them if he unleashed it. And so they're working as a team to protect them. Momo Yoyorotsu. Quirk, creation. Interesting. I'm worried about the others. Let's hurry up, regroup. You're having a wardrobe malfunction? Oh dear. Oh yeah, no, that ripped her shirt apart. Okay. The bubbles covered up her bubbles. Minetta curse. Okay, I can make more clothes. She can create anything as long as it's non-living, but she needs to understand the object's chemical makeup first. Knowledge is her power. That's why she's super smart, and she knows shit. She keeps reading stuff so she knows the makeup of things so that then she can create it. That can be crazy powerful. That can kind of get crazy, man. The more she understands it, but she has to know about it, so she has to be super intelligent. What an interesting combination again. Woohoo! He's all mangled though. I mean, he took a bit of a hit there. So Denki Kaminari, quirk, electrification. Exceeding his max wattage, fries his brain, leaving him a total moron for a while. I do love how it's like, here's the power, and by the way, here's just something. It's a quirk. Here's the quirk on the quirk. Crazy talk. What is this? 23 seconds. So you're the boss. Okay, so we're gonna have a boss battle here with the villain here. 24 seconds. Oh, 20 seconds. What is he counting down for here? 17 seconds. Grabs his ribbon, pushes him, slams. It's hard to tell when you're scampering around, but there are moments. Oh, when your hair falls in front of your eyes? What? Every time you finish a given move, and your max duration is getting shorter and shorter. Holy, he's like a mega statistician. The handyman. I love it. Don't overdo it now. Erase your head. What is he doing there? What's he doing there? Oh, it's his elbow? Is a hand crushing his elbow? All these hands, like, do they have this? Oh, God, look at that. Nasty. My elbow was disintegrating. Whoa. What are you talking about? It was disintegrating. Do each hands have maybe a different power? That'd be crazy. Although what? And how? I wonder when we're going to learn stuff about that motherfucker. Okay, your quirk. It's not good in long group battles, huh? This is kind of different from your usual work, yeah? You specialize in quick sneak attacks, yet you jump right in front, right into this fight, hoping to make the kids feel safe. So cool, so cool. Oh, something's creeping up on Asawa, which is going to be this dude. Vulture teeth. By the way, hero, I'm not the boss here. Oh, page flip. Okay, 13. Looks like a disaster relief hero. Sensei! Oh, that's going to create like a massive... That's got to create something crazy. Oh, no. Okay, don't look ahead. Don't look ahead. Can't measure up to even the most ordinary of heroes when it comes to a fight. And now you find yourself ripped apart by your own power. Yeah, you can't put those two. This dude opened a hole to tear the suit apart. He warped me. I'm done for. Yeah, it's like putting oh god, this is like a 30-year-old, if not over 30-year-old kind of tabletop Dungeons and Dragons. I remember I was a second edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, late 80s, early 90s. And it would have been, there was something called the Sphere of Annihilation. It was an artifact, and there was a black hole. And if you put a sphere of annihilation into a black hole, it would create a massive explosion, because it would create two different forces that were metaphysically opposing each other. One was a transdimensional space that was infinite. The other one was like an annihilation space. Like everything that went into it was complete entropy. And it was you couldn't put an entropy into like infinite space or something. Anyways. It's like, I wonder, man, because this certainly looks like the magical item that was literally a black, what's this called? A disc of, whatever the magical item was. It was like a Looney Tunes flat, two-dimensional, black, floppy circle thing, and yeah, you could reach into it. Anyways, that was a derail. Ida, she told you to run. Jesus, we're still at that moment in time. Damn, and then vroom, away he goes. My dear scattered children, we merely need to wait for All Might to appear. No, that's not going to be the end. I'm sure 13 is fine. It would hardly be to our benefit if you called for our teachers. Swirl. Ida's running. Oh, is he getting pulled into it? Oh, shit. Hold on. They're counting on me. The whole class. It's up to me. Go! Who's saying that? Oh, it's Octopus. One of the mouths and the tentacles. Grab. Did he grab him and throw him? It's hard to follow sometimes. It is. I don't know what's going on with my brain. I don't know. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Okay, so quickly, everyone, I like the panels here. It's very early 90s Image Comics where everything is kind of broken apart and snapshot on top of like the main drama piece here. Just hold on. Everyone, just hold on. Villains, what pros deal with. We hadn't seen anything yet. So he's the boss? I mean, that was the insinuation of that panel where he says, I'm not the boss here. But I feel like he's more like brutish. Oh, damn, he's got him. He's got him down for the count. Meet the anti-symbol of peace, the bioengineered Nomu. That's going to be a page flip, and yeah, we're done. So we have Momo Yaoyorutsu. I can't say that. the way now. Anyways, so we have Momo Yaoyo. So okay, so favorite thing, reading. Of course, now we know why. She has to read a lot, so she knows the composition of things so that she can create them out of her skin, I guess. Especially illustrated encyclopedias. Behind the scenes. First, I have to apologize for something. When the chapter with the explanation of her ability was first published in Jump, I wrote that she couldn't produce organic matter. It should have been living things. Oh, so she can pull out an apple, but not something with a heartbeat or something like that. I thought I could fix it in the editing stage, but the error wound up getting printed. If she couldn't produce organic matter, then the insulator sheet and clothing would be impossible. Because the clothing would have come from a sheep at some point? The yarn? Anyhow, getting the explanation of a superpower wrong in a manga about superpowers is unforgivable. I can't apologize enough. I'm sure it's fine, dude. If she knows the chemical makeup, she can produce any non-living thing. Behind the scenes. Just like with Ida, I originally thought to give her quirk to a pro hero, but I made the change when I realized that such an almighty ability would be much more interesting in the hands of someone less experienced. I was going to say, yeah, because there's some opportunity there. Yes, completely distracted. Yes, I want to see this one. Don't know why. But it's the last chapter, which makes me even more excited. And it's Bakugo, which I think is like it's going to be an important piece. There's something's going to happen with Bakugo. I'm so happy that it's in the last chapter. They weren't in this one. Anyways, back to this point. What was I saying? Because it's a student, because she's 15, she can't know everything, right? But she's very smart because she's very well read, I guess, up to the point where, I mean, she's still 15 and well read, but she still has a whole life ahead of her to read more and learn more and retain more and learn how to retain more and all that stuff. And all of that development is going to could make her super powerful. Like, there's some great potential there, but there's also, she's young enough where there could be failure, or there could be like she doesn't know enough to just get out of any problem, and so that might be that's going to be intriguing. Anyway, so that's it. That's another wrap. That was a good chapter. It was fast paced again. That doesn't surprise me. I know I recorded a little long. Like, I'm almost at the 40-minute mark, not quite, but I'm likely going to get this around the 20-minute mark at this point. I think, I don't know, just over 20 minutes. Anyway, so the last one is Game Over. And that one's going to be, I think, self-explanatory. We have to tie the pieces together. Now that I know that context, right, I'll come back at the end of the session. Well, Jesus. Was this supposed to be an intentional session? They were supposed to like let villains just rampage into here, and that was part of the rescue mission? Like, because this is still a rescue mission, right? We're in a scenario where thematically this all started with the concept of that, the rescue training, and then this stuff happened. I feel like thematically they're still setting up this chunk right here. This is all to rescue All Might, because All Might cannot protect himself right now. He's worn out. He's in that room. He's waiting. And he'll show up at the end of the class. He'll make an appearance. And it's almost like Asawa and 13 are covering for him. But this thing breaks down. Like, all of this happens at this point. And it's like, they know that these villains can't get past them and into the school itself where All Might is, because All Might is vulnerable. And it's almost like it's a rescue mission for All Might. Yeah. So I find that interesting. Not that the students know that, but 13 and Aisawa know that. The students know that, but what I'm saying is that the two teachers know even more of that, is the reason why it needs to be protected. And so the mystery here would be, what do the villains know that made them come onto the school property to go for All Might? And then the only thing that All Might has to offer is, because we have that scene there. See, it's not directly connected to what we've been told explicitly the villains are there, but I remember the piece because it stood out to me, because it was important, because these things are important. It's when this All Might scene happens that, I did flip to it, this flashback right here. Right, so we have this flashback, which is on start of chapter 13, the rescue training. We have this, and then it doesn't really touch into this, but this is important because it's at the start of the chapter, and then it doesn't get resolved. And so in my head, I was like, I was carrying this over. And then in this chapter, the page I skipped, right, is the one where it talks about he's exhausted. He can't make it until the end of the class. And then in chapter 14, we have the scene between All Might and the principal, and we have these like flashes of these things happening. But this is important in this particular page. And this one being that the whole, like, you told him. So Midoriya has told Bakugo the piece about the transfer of power. But not that it was from him. But us as readers, we know what that implied. That implied that the reason why All Might needs that protected is because it's dangerous. This is what I carried through. And this is why I'm kind of waiting for maybe a reveal. The danger here being that if anyone finds out that Midoriya's power comes from All Might because All Might gave him like a hair or to eat or something, then that implies that if anyone finds that out, imagine all the villains, would they just have to shave All Might's head, and then they all have to take it, and then you have a problem in your hands. And I think that was what was implied here with, you must be aware of the responsibility that comes with the power. Should the world learn of it, I have no doubt that all manner of scum would come and try to steal it away. I didn't really key into this when I read it. I keyed into this when I looked back and went, right? Because I went back to the beginning of this and went, where does this continue? And what's the point of this like setup here? Because this thematic setup is important. And I think that's the important balloon right there. This secret is all that prevents our society from falling into chaos. So villains find out about it. Villains want to take the power. They spread amongst themselves. Boom, you have chaos. Because all the villains are just going to they're going to have the power of all might, one for all, right? That's crazy, but now this thing right here, that threw me off. Meet the anti-symbol of peace, the bioengineered Nomu. Why would they call it the anti-symbol of peace? So war? The symbol of war? Like pure chaos, pure like just savagery. But it's the fact that he's been bioengineered. And then it's bioengineered, and that's what gave me that flashback, that piece right there about the hair, right? Because what if they grab, maybe they found something out. And there's like a parallel narrative here. They're not giving it to us yet, but they're going to give it to us. Anyways, that's enough speculation. That's enough. Do not spoil me with what I just said there. That's the throw up. So that's me going into the last chapter now to find out, okay, now which pieces is this volume going to give us and what this volume does not touch upon, because there's obviously something happening with someone either inside the school or a connection inside the school telling one of the villains that coordinated this event, that triggered this thing. There's something else going on here. We're not getting those pieces. So what doesn't get resolved in this volume is going to be carryover. And I feel like it's starting to stack up to a point where there's no way that the last chapter, Game Over, is going to resolve those pieces. It could all be the same thing, and it all just be like, oh, it all just falls together. But I think it being called Game Over, my speculation there is like, no, there's like a bit of a negative. It's like it's going to be this culmination to a negative, and the Game Over is more like, it's not game over for the villains. It's like, I don't know. And then it's going to be maybe volume 3 that then this explodes. Something is going to get crazier. It's going to broaden up the spectrum of like, this isn't just about the school and the teaching and stuff like that. It's going to now unveil something else and a bigger threat, and we're going to go into another. If I were to look at, I can't even finish my sentences. If I were to look at like when I have like the 4 parts of my narrative patterns framework, and I go, what if those 4 parts are 4 volumes? And then I would go into the kind of analysis mind frame of going, let's see if like volume 4 is actually where it's going to be the equivalent of like an act 3 of a bigger plot. And I start to expand what this all means, and because like I can do it to the chapter, I can do it to the volume, but then I would go, okay, now let's get 4 of the similar things. Well, the 4 similar things are the 4 volumes, and in 4 volumes does this pan out? Like, can we break this pattern down into, like, if I were to look at volume 1 and go, if volume 1 was act 1, what does it represent? If volume 2 and 3 were act 2, what does it represent? Well, it's us meeting a bunch of people. It's us going into the adventure where it's exploration, and we're exploring the school grounds. We're exploring the student names. We're getting the villain. We are getting act 2 patternistic things here, And so then it's like, is volume 3 going to literally be the second half of an act 2, and then volume 4 is going to be like the actual resolution of the first major plot, and then we're going to move on into the next kind of reboot, next season, whatever you want to call it. Well, that's some future speculation. Don't spoil me. Anyways, that's it. That's a wrap up. I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy.